Hello students, in the previous session we have learned that the poem Wind shows us the idea that it is the nature of the world to attack the weak and make friends with the strong ones. The poet compares the wind to the challenges of our everyday lives and says that the weak people cannot overcome the challenges of life and therefore breaks down. So the poet advises us to be strong so that we can resist the wind from destroying things, or so that we can overcome the dangers or challenges we have to face in our everyday lives. So now let's start reading and understanding the poem. Wind, come softly, don't break the shutters of the windows, don't scatter the papers, don't throw down the books on the shelf. There, look what you did. You threw them all down. You tore the pages of the books. You brought rain again. You are very clever at poking fun at weaklings. So students, in the very beginning of the poem, we can see that the poet is talking to the wind. He is asking the wind to come softly, means he is asking the wind to not be very strong and loud. He asks the wind to be soft and subtle. But then we can see that the wind does not come softly. It is very powerful. It is destructive. It breaks the shutters of the windows and scatters the papers. And because the wind is very powerful, all the books which are kept on the shelf, they all fall down. The powerful wind tears the pages of the books apart and brings rain again. So here the poet is describing the power of the wind. And then the poet says to the wind to look at the destruction it had done. And the poet says that the wind that is very clever at making fun of the weak people or everything that is weak, because whenever there is a strong wind, whenever a strong and powerful wind comes, all the things that are weak, like small plants, tiny children, etc., and all the weak people and things, they all get scared and they can even fall and get hurt. So that is why the poet says that the wind likes making fun of the weaklings. It likes making fun of the weak people or the things or everything which is weak. Frail crumbling houses, crumbling doors, crumbling rafters, crumbling wood, crumbling bodies, crumbling lives, crumbling hearts. So students, here the word crumbling is repeated so many times, right? And it means that everything crumbles in the face of a strong wind. When a strong wind comes, everything crumbles. So the poet says that when the wind is very powerful and when it is very strong, it breaks everything. The houses which are weak fall. Then doors which are weak fall. The beams on which the roof of the building are supported, they also fall. So all the weak wooden structures fall. All weak bodies of people, animals and lives fall. Weak hearts also fall, as the poet says. So the poet is saying that everything that is weak crumbles. Everything that is weak falls down and breaks, because they cannot face the wind, they cannot overcome the wind. So the ultimate idea which has been reflected is that whenever a weak person faces any problem or challenge in life, he or she breaks down and falls. He or she cannot overcome the challenge just because they are weak. The wind god winnows and crushes them all. So now the poet is addressing the wind as wind god. Okay, here you can see in the poem, the poet addresses the wind as wind god. And he is saying that the powerful god of winds winnows. That means he filters, means the god of winds, the wind god, filters or purifies or kind of sifts all the people, and those people who are weak, they fall down and get crushed. So here the poet makes a comparison, students. Here the poet makes a comparison between wheat, which we eat, and people. Between wheat and people, the poet makes a comparison. So just like we know the wheat to separate the grain from the chaff, the wind god also separates the strong people from the weak people. So when there is a strong wind, all the things that are weak fall and get crushed. Now, he won't do what you tell him. So come, let's build strong homes. Let's joint the doors firmly. Practice to firm the body, make the heart steadfast. Do this, and the wind will be friends with us. So students, now the poet says that the wind does not do what you tell him to do. Right? So the poet actually wants to mean that the problems which we face in life, the problems will not listen to us. They will come, obviously. The poet wants to make friends with the wind, means he wants to make friends with the challenges and problems of life. That is why he says that the wind will not listen to us, means the problem will not listen to us, the problems will not listen to us. They will come, obviously. Even though we don't want any problem in our lives, problems and difficulties and challenges will definitely come in our lives, right? But the poet says that the wind will come, means the problems will come, and so we should be prepared. Okay, now what do we need to do to be prepared for the problems? The poet says that to prepare ourselves, we should build strong homes and close the doors of our houses firmly so that the wind cannot go inside. And then the poet also says that we should also make our bodies strong and make our hearts firm to face these challenges of life. And then when we will be one day strong enough to face all the challenges and problems, will be like our friends, right? We will not feel that the problems or the challenges will break us down. And that is why the poet asks us to do these things, to prepare ourselves this way, to make ourselves strong. And he says that then only the wind will be friends with us. Now, the wind blows out weak fires. He makes strong fires roar and flourish. His friendship is good. We praise him every day. So students, the poet again tells us that the wind blows out the weak fires, but the same wind makes the strong fires even more stronger, right? And grow. Means he wants to tell us that everything that is weak gets finished off in the hands of the strong wind, and all the things that are strong that can overcome the wind, they flourish and grow to become stronger. He also compares the wind to God, and as we have already read earlier, he says that wind is God, and it makes people stronger, and that is why we praise him every day. So students, the poet is giving us a very important message, right? That we should not feel bad if we are facing so many challenges and difficulties or problems in life. We should make ourselves physically and mentally strong to face these challenges of life. And once we are strong enough, we will overcome the challenges. We will become friends with the challenges of our life. And at a point of time, we will be happy. We are going to be happy that we had these challenges in our life, because of which we grew, because of which we are still growing, we flourished. So these challenges help us become stronger and better than before. So students, I hope you understood the poem very well. If you have any doubt, ask me directly over WhatsApp, and I will provide you with the question answers of the poem Wind in the WhatsApp group.